Good noon, well, time to mirror. Coming to 12 o'clock. We got to do my show I made earlier. Well, is it time that pro hockey league? Yeah, it is, but I'm not going to choose being a pro hockey player over being a movie star. Come on. Being a movie star is much better. It's risky. What if I'm not good, guys? It's risky, yeah. There's nothing worse than me investing out, like $14 million of my money into the league. The whole world's buzzing about Ivan as a player, and Ivan scores no goals. He flops as a player. Like that's not good, obviously. As in pro sports, you need to be productive. You need to be scoring points and having an amazing career to have a good career. If you don't put up points, no one's going to talk about you. That's how it works. Whereas for acting, I can steer the ship as the lead of the movie with VJ. It's less risky, obviously. I can actually be the star of the movie. VJ, right? Yeah. His eggs are amazing. I make amazing eggs. Yeah. So starting that pro hockey league is risky. Yeah, it's risky. I'm talking Houston and Gazi Comedy of Ovechkin. It's risky, guys. What if I flop as a player? I'm not taking that risk, guys. Yeah, right. If you train for 3-4 years, you should be a star player. Yes, I can. But what if I flop, guys? There's nothing worse than the world hyped up about Ivan being a pro hockey player, and Ivan doesn't score any goals. Ivan scores maybe like 7 goals a season, and he flops as a player. He's not a star player. Whereas for movies, it's less risky. I don't have to worry about that. Movies, me and VJ can steer the ship as the stars of the movie. Yeah, movies is obviously a much less risk than pro sports. Pro sports, you actually have to be productive on the ice and score points, right? And score goals. That's how it works, right? Yeah. Yeah. Next week is Resident Evil Requiem on the 27th. I'm excited for that game. I'm not excited for that game as I am James Bond, but I'm excited for the Resident Evil game. I'm very, very hyped for that James Bond game in 3 months, end of May. Robert's obviously going to play that game. That's a huge game of 2026. James Bond game is a huge game that's getting released in the end of May, right? That day, I'm gonna get like my 6 beers and my food for that game. I can't wait to watch that. Yeah. I know. Are you Terrence or broccoli? Yes, I am. But like Victoria Justice would think I'm crazy. Yeah, I mean you're crazy. You'd rather be a pro, even though being a pro hockey player is cool. It's not as cool as being a movie star. I mean, yeah, being a movie star is much cooler than being a pro hockey. Yeah, that's why I'm not gonna start that league. I'd rather be a movie star than be a pro hockey athlete, obviously. And it's risky, guys. I'm talking to all you hockey NHL athletes. What if I flop as a player? I'm not gonna take that risk. I can flop as a player, guys. Yeah. Because throughout my life when I played sports, I never was a star player on my team. Whereas my brothers, my stepbrothers were good at sports. Every time they played sports, they were like star players in all their teams. And they were star players. They won all these awards. They were always like star players of their team. They even made it to the pros in the CFL, obviously. Whereas me, I never really was a star player in any of my. But to be fair, the doors were locked on me, obviously. Because I remember when I played football for the North Gloucester Giants in the House League in Ottawa, I remember the coaches kept putting me. I remember they kept switching me to O-line. I was playing D-line, I was doing good, and they kept putting me to O-line. And I don't know why they did that because the Gates locked the doors on me. Yeah, put Ivan in a non-skill position. That way, the doors are locked on him, obviously. As my older stepbrothers had scouts scout them and everything, was no scouts ever talked about me because I don't know why, because the doors were locked me. That's why they kept putting me O-line, obviously. Or if I'm D-line, they would put me second, third string or something like that. Because the doors were locked on me, obviously. But I guarantee you, Sidney Crosby, no, I mean, it's not risky, man. If you train for like 4 years, you should be able to keep up with the best hockey players. Well, yeah, but guys, man, what if I flop, man? I'm not taking that chance, man. It's risky. These are the best hockey players in the world. The greatest hockey players in the world I'm playing against, right? Yeah, man. It's risky. The board of governors will tell me, yeah, if you want this league to thrive, you gotta be a star player, but you gotta train for like 3-4 years. Because it'll take like 4 years to start the league. Obviously, to build all the arenas all over Canada, States around 4 or 5 years. During that time, you have to hire the best hockey trainers to train you in power skating, shooting, stick handling, everything. You got like 4 or 5 years to prep, Ivan. 4 years to prep. Yo, Ivan, you'll be old. Yeah, I'll be like, I don't know, 47, 48, but I look like I'm 30. I feel like I'm 30 years old. I could play for like 20, 30 years, 25, 30 years. Obviously, guys, I'm sorry. I make more money with movies than I do hockey. Because for the pro hockey league, I have to put billions back into the league. So if I'm pulling in 30, 35 billion a season, I have to put like $14 billion of my own money back into the league. That way the teams have operating budget for each season, obviously. Because all the revenue for all the teams and everything in the league and everything, it goes to me. The board of governors will tell me, at the end of every season, the board of governors will tell me, hey, Ivan, the league did $35 billion in profit. How much of this money you want to take? I might only take maybe 21 billion of that. I have to put like 14 billion back in. Yeah, I mean, you have to put some of your money back in the league in order for the league, for us to pay our bills, to pay the players their salary, to pay the coaches, the presidents, the GMs, all those guys' their salaries. It's a lot. It's a lot of costs, but it's pocket change. Like I can afford it, obviously, because I'll be pulling in probably my 35 billion a season in revenue or in profit. I have to put like 13, 14 billion back into the league each season. That way the teams can pay the players, the coaches, the GMs, the presidents, the board of governors have to get paid too, the play-by-play guys. It's so much cost, man. Stat keepers, it's crazy. But I can afford it. But it's risky. What if I flop as a player? I don't want to take that chance, right? Yeah. Yeah. But being a pro hockey athlete is fucking fun. That's probably my second choice. That's fucking cool. But is it better glory than being a movie star? No, it's not. And a game star? No. Being a game star and a movie star is much cooler. It's much cooler seeing Ivan in a big budget movie with special effects and everything than him playing hockey. Even though hockey's glory, it's much cooler seeing Ivan in a movie. Like that's why I'm gonna be movie star VJ, honestly. Right? Yeah. Yes, I'm sorry. Or worst comes to worst, I can be a pro hockey athlete for 20 years, and after I played for 25 years, I can be a movie star with VJ after that. It's not that big of a deal, but yeah, I could do that. But am I really gonna pass up being a movie star or being a pro hockey athlete? Come on, being a movie star's better. But it is tempting to start that league, obviously. But if I'm king when I'm 50, I might just put acting on hold because The Great Escape, all these actors are all old now. The Zane's movie won't happen until years later. I could put it on hold and just be a pro hockey player for maybe 25 years. Maybe coach for another maybe 20 years. And after that, me and VJ can do movies and VJ can just do her music. I don't know. It is possible, but I mean, if I'm king when I'm 50. Yeah, but Ivan, you can't play when you're 50. No, guys. I may be 50, but I'm like, I look like something happens in my cell whereby I feel young and I look like I'm 30 years old, 33 years old. I can play for like 25 years, guys. 30 years in the league. But for Sidney Crosby, Carl Medeiros, guys, it's too late for those guys. I keep saying that, but it's too late for those guys. Yo, Ivan, fuck you, man. You're such a fucking dick, man. If you do that, you're gonna fucking crush us out. Well, you guys get what you deserve. I do sort that pro hockey league. You guys get what you deserve, right? You wanted to lock the doors on me and you missed some opportunity. There you go. Don't hate me, guys. Sarah. The only thing those guys can hope to do is coach in my league. Coach or what? Or be a sport anchor. That's not that bad. But yeah, even though it would be cool to do that, man, I love to play in your league. I mean, it's too late for those guys. They were born a bit too early, right? You're born in a different generation. Yeah, Sidney Crosby is a millennial. He's born in '87. Connor McDavid is a Gen Z, born in '97. It's too late for those guys. Yeah, I'm a millennial. I was born in '92. Obviously. Yeah. I think the players would go on strike if you saw that pro hockey league. Oh yeah, they would. They'd be like, yeah, it's not fucking fair. Ivan's making like his $30 billion, I don't know, 22 billion a season, whatever it is. It's not fair. We're the stars of this league, you know what I'm saying? We're part of the success of the league. We want to raise. But yeah, guys, I can give you guys maybe an $8 million raise for the cap, but if you want like a $50 million, $100 million raise, you guys are crazy. I'm not going to have you do like that and drain my profits of that, man. If I give you a $50 million raise, you're draining like $1.6 billion of my own fucking money, man. I'm not going to have you guys do like that, man. What I'm paying you is enough. But like what I'm paying you play in the NHL and make less money. So I mean, as a second choice, you do have it all planned out. Yeah, I want 25 teams for my SHL Pro Hockey League, 13 teams in Canada, 12 teams in the States. That's the best way to make it work, obviously. Yeah, you want the 20. Why not 32 guys? 32 teams is going to drain my money, man. I don't feel like putting like, if you have 32 teams, Ivan, if the league makes 35 billion in profit, you have to put like 17. Let's say you $35 billion, you have to put like $17 billion of your money, almost half your money back into the league if you have a 32 team league. It's just going to drain your profits, Ivan. You have to put like $15+ billion back into the league. That's what, that way I make more money, I'll have a 25 team league. So the league is there's not as much teams as the NHL, but 25 teams is enough teams for a league, right? That's good enough. I'm not going to have a 32 team league. That's just too much of my money, man. Because I have to put $200 million towards the salary cap for each team. 32 teams is going to drain your profits, Ivan. That's why I'll have a 25 team. Okay, 13 teams in Canada, 30 teams in Canada, 12 teams in the States. So that works, right? And the $200 million salary cap is only for the players. The GM salaries, president salaries, coaches salaries is excluded from that. That's part of the team's operating budget revenue per season. But if you put like $13, $14 million back in the league, each team will have an operating budget of around like $450 million a season. That's enough money for each team to pay the presidents, the board of governors to pay the presidents and the GMs, the vice presidents and the coaches, the assistant coaches, the board manager, the press team for each team. It's enough for all that. Guys, I'm sorry. But you have to pay the press guys too. Pay the press guys a good $150,000 salary. You can give them $3,000 raises per season. That's a good deal for those guys. They work in your league for 20 years. They're making like their $220,000. That's how much they make, probably, the press guys in the NHL. They make their $100-something thousand. Those guys make. Because I'm not sold to the gates, I have a private press for each team, which covers news for that team, obviously. Like a 15-team press team. You got to build a press conference room where you interview the players when they get traded, when they sign a contract. That's all part of it. Got some Sarah? Yeah. That's why it is tempting to start that Pro Hockey League. It's tempting, guys. Give me a sec, guys. I'm going to go upstairs and get my coffee. We'll be back in a sec. Don't hit me, guys. I'm saying. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. My SHL Pro Hockey League show, right? Alright, guys, sorry for the wait. Well, I'm just getting my coffee. Yeah. So I have his 10th thing. Yeah, if I'm king when I'm 50, I might perhaps start that Pro Hockey League. Maybe. I highly doubt it. Chances are I'll be doing movies with VJ, but I could be a Pro Hockey player in maybe 25 years. Then after that, I can transition into being a movie star. But I'll still, the league will still be going on. Players will still be playing in the league and everything, but I'm no longer playing in the league anymore. I'll still make my money, obviously, right? I could do that, right? Yeah. Highly likely, though. It's most likely movies, guys. That's my dream of VJ, right? But it is cool being a Rock League, I'm not going to lie. For Carmen, David Ovechkin, and Austin Matthews, and all those guys, it's too late for those guys. Those guys are all like well into their careers. Like Crosby is turning 40 next year. He's turning 39. He's old now, older. He's still playing at a high level. And McDavid is young, but he's already like pushing 30. He has maybe another 10, 13 years. Like, I'll be king in like 10 years. 10 years from now. So if I do start that Pro Hockey League, McDavid is now in like 38, 39. He's no longer in his prime years, and he's pushing the age of retirement, so it's too late for those guys. Go ahead, guys. One second, yeah. Austin Matthews is a year younger than McDavid. I believe he's born in 98. Austin Matthews, I think, is 28. McDavid is turning 29 this year. McDavid probably has maybe 2 more years, and he's no longer in his prime. This year and maybe next year. And then once he hits 30, he's no longer in his prime years. Once he's like 31, he's no longer in his prime. But will McDavid still be playing at a high level like Crosby in his 30s? We'll see what happens, right? I think he will, but I mean, yeah. Obviously. Oh, man, don't do that. If you do that, you're going to crush us, man. We miss an opportunity, I know. All the NHL's going to play shit. The only thing they can hope now is to get a front office job, coaching job, or maybe a sport anchor job in my league. But even though that's cool, Ivan, like I would love to play in your league, Ivan. Yeah, I wish I was drafted in your league instead of the gatekeepers fucking NHL. Yeah, obviously. Sidney Crosby, McDavid, and Austin Matthews, Ovechkin all would have been first overall picks in my league too, if they were born in the younger generation. Obviously, they would have been first overall picks, and they obviously would have been legends in my SHL league too. Obviously. They would have been legends, obviously, and they would have made way more money and been way more famous than they are now. Obviously, it's a better job, right? Yeah, playing the SHL is a better job than playing the NHL. Yeah, because the players are making more money. There's no endorsement deals in my league, but I'm still paying the players more money than what they make in the NHL. As I'm giving the star players league revenue, anywhere from $5 to $20 million in league revenue. The star players. So if you make $20 million a season and you're making an extra $5 million in league revenue, you're making your $25 million in that season. It's a lot of money. They don't make that in the NHL. $30 million, you get $35 million. $25 million, you make $30 million. You make $5 million, $7 million revenue, $37 million. Yeah. All right, you want a $200 million cap? Yeah, $200 million cap for each team. That's enough. I'm not putting any more money into the cap. That's enough money for the players. And the players do go on strike, which they will because they want to raise the cap by maybe $8 million. Don't give them like a $50 million raise, something ridiculous. You're going to drain the league profits. The players are draining my money, man. So don't forget, I'm the one paying for this fucking thing. I'm not going to have these players dupe me and have me overpay these guys, man. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to tell the board of governors, if I said, league, look, guys, I'm going to be very strict with this. When you pay a star player like an 8-10 year contract, balance out the contract. Don't pay a player like $30 million, $20 million every season. You're going to drain the cap, man. Yeah. So if you pay a player $20 million, pay that player $20 million for maybe three seasons. And after that, you bring it down to 17 for another 3 seasons, and you bring it down to maybe $14 million for the final 2 seasons, if it's an 8-year contract. And they also get their like $6 million, $5 million revenue. They're making more than what they make in the NHL. You guys from Siren? It's more money than what they make in the NHL. Obviously. Especially if it's generational talent, you're paying a player like $35, $40 million. You can't pay a player $35, $40 million every season for 10 years of $400 contract. That's too much. They're ripping you off, and you're draining the cap. No, pay the player $40 million for maybe 2 seasons or 3 seasons. Now you have to bring it down to maybe 30, 32 million for another 3 seasons. In the final season, they make maybe 24. That's how you have more room to pay more average players in upcoming. Because draft picks in my league will probably start around that $2-3 million range. You have to create room to pay the upcoming draft picks for the SHL, right? They have to get paid to those guys. And when those guys become stars after 3 seasons, they have to get paid too. So you have to be careful how much you pay the players. Tell the board of governors that, Ivan, that tell them to tell the GMs that never pay a player a ridiculous amount of money for like 8-10 years. You're gonna drain the cap, but you won't have enough room to pay other players, man. Yeah. And how it works in pro leagues, if teams can't afford to pay a player, they end up releasing them or they trade them. So you don't want to do a thing where the team has to trade a player because they can't afford they can't afford all these star players on that one team. They have to trade players for like a draft pick. Obviously, so you make sure you're careful, guys, with the cap, because each NHL team has on average about 2 to 3 star players a team, 3 star players a team, 2 to 3 star players a team. So if you're paying one player $30 million, you're paying one player $25 million. You got to be careful. Pay one player $30 million for 2 years. After that, you bring it down to maybe 26, 27, 26. So you have a bit more room to pay other players. It's very important. Yeah, pay a player $25 million for 2 seasons. After that, you bring it down to maybe 20. Obviously, that's $5 million cap space room to pay a good player $5 million. Because the good players have to get paid too. They have to make their, their 4, 5, 6, 7 million. You have to get paid to those guys, not just about the star players. There's some sour. Yeah. Yeah. And don't pay the coaches any more than $20 million for a season. Only pay a coach $20 million if they're amazing coaches. They're veteran coaches with an amazing record. Those coaches can make their $15-20 million a season. And the pretty good coaches can make their $5 to $10 million a season. Don't go any lower than 5 for a coach, a hockey coach. And the assistants, you can pay them a couple $100,000. Pay the assistant coaches maybe $500, minimum $400,000 a year. That's a good paycheck for an assistant hockey coach. They get like $400K. That's a good paycheck for those guys. They're not worth that much, those guys, right? Yeah. Got some sour? Ivan, do you have say over who the GMs fire? No, that's tell the board of governors. The GMs have, and the vice presidents have full power to fire the GMs and the coaches. They have that power. I have no control over that. That way you keep the league fair. As even though I own the league, I'm gonna let the board of governors and all these coaches make their decisions. I'm not gonna interfere with that. That way you keep it fair. You're not biased, right? Yeah, that's the best way to make it work. But I own the league, though. I'm the boss, obviously, but the coaches have the power to release whoever they want to release. The GMs have the power to fire the coaches. The vice presidents and presidents have the power to fire the GMs. If they don't put together a good team, the GMs can get fired, obviously. If they don't have a winning season, the coaches get fired. Got some Sarah? You have guaranteed money for the contracts. The money is guaranteed, obviously. That way they can feed their family. There's nothing worse than a player signs a deal. He does bad after like his 6th season, they get released. I could do a thing where the players, half of the money is guaranteed to the players if they get released or they retire. The half of their contract is guaranteed, but the other half they don't get. Obviously, that way they have at least a little bit of money after if they get released or they retire. Right, Sarah? Before the contract is up. Only half of the money is guaranteed, not all of it like the NHL. Because the NHL, I heard all the money is guaranteed. So if an NHL player signs an 8-year contract and they want to retire in their 6th year, they're still owed their money that's owed to them, all the money that's owed to them. I'm not going to do 100% guarantee for the money. No, half of the money is guaranteed. That way the players have a little, or the coaches have some money coming in after they get fired or something like that. They have a little bit of money for themselves, right? Go ahead, guys, and send you. Guys from Sarah? Yeah. But the players in my league are really going to work really hard because I'm going to have better training programs for them, and they have a better job in the NHL. So every player is working hard, and they're training on the ice, off the ice. They're working hard, and because I want to be a star player too, I'm going to be working hard training with all those players, off the ice and on the ice. That's why I want, for the $300 million hockey arenas, I want you guys building a state-of-the-art gym. State-of-the-art gym for each team. A big gym where all the players all like 18 players can work out during the off season. You have a practice facility where they can train on the ice. Obviously, you guys from Sarah. And guys, I'm being serious, man. Don't pay a player any more than $30 million unless they're generational talent like Connor McDavid and Crosby and Ovechkin. If they're not those guys, don't pay those guys that money. They're not worth any more than that. Yeah. See, if the guys like Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby, you can pay those guys like 35, 40. 50 million is too much, but you can pay them 35 to 50. Don't go any higher than 50 million for a player, for a generational talent player. That's enough, man. Like otherwise you're gonna drain the cap. But if you pay a player $50 million, you have to balance it. They get 50 million for 2 seasons, and after that you bring it down to maybe 38. You have more cap space to pay 2 other good players like they're $4 million. You guys from Sarah? And you bring it down to 27. You bring it down to 20, 19 in the final season. That way you have more room to pay the players. The other players some more money, obviously. Yeah, because the majority of the players on each team are good players who score like 10 goals, 8 goals, 12 goals a season. They have like a 40-point season, 50-point season, 30-point season. Those are good players. They have to get paid too, those guys. They're part of the success of your league. They're not the star players, but they have to get paid too, those guys. They have to make their $8 million. Good players in my league might peak at maybe $8, $9, $10 million, maybe, if they're lucky. Some might even get 12 if they're pretty good, but they're not star players. They might even get 12, but I mean, the star players are the players who usually get the bulk of the money. That's how it works in pro sport leagues. The star players, guys, deserve the bulk of the money, but you got to be careful with your cap. You have to make sure you have enough room to pay the other players. Not just about the star players, but you have to be careful with that stuff. But my contract is not with the GMs. My contract is with the league, the board of governors, as all the league profits go to me. But I have to put money back into the league, obviously. Yeah, Ivan, the league did $35 billion this season in revenue. How much of this money you want to take? Okay, give me 20, like $1 billion of that. I made my $13 billion back, obviously, and then put like $14 billion back in the league. Okay, Ivan. And that's how you run the league. That's how it works, right? Yeah. This is not fair, man. I was assuming I'm a star player. Ivan's a fucking star player. He's a face of the league. He's making all those fucking tens of billions, man. And we're getting the peanuts. I'm like, guys, if you don't like what I'm paying you, play in the NHL and make your $9 million, $7 million as a star player. You're living an amazing, rich life with this money. You can retire with this money if you're smart with your money, right? You have to be smart with your money. If you're stupid with your money, you can be stupid, obviously. As I heard of Vander Kane, obviously, he was so stupid with his money. He was like $26 million in debt. He went bankrupt, man. I heard of Vander Kane in the NHL. Like, man, how the heck can you fuck up that bad? Be $26 million in debt? He was obviously stupid with his money, and now he's bankrupt, obviously. He's bankrupt. That's not good, right? That's why you gotta be smart with your money. Obviously. You gotta be smart with your money, obviously. But I'm paying the players more enough money whereby they can retire. When they retire, if they're smart with their money, they can retire and never have to work again. After they're like 15, 20 year in the SHL, they can retire with millions, tens of millions in the bank, obviously. Especially the star players. Whereas me, I'm good because I'm making my billions, right? So I don't have to invest my money into anything because I'm making like, I don't know, my $2 billion every season in the SHL, so I'm good. The players are good too. They're making more than money, but because they're not making the money I'm making, they have to be a bit more careful with the money those players. They're not making the kind of money I'm making right in the SHL, right? Yeah. Yeah. Will you smoke, Ivan, when you're in the SHL? Of course I will. I'm not going to quit smoking, obviously, but I'm going to cut down on my smoking. I might smoke maybe half a pack a day, obviously, but I'm no longer going to be drinking every day. No, I have to. I'll be partying up with the players after the games and everything, but I'm going to have to cut down on my drinking, obviously. Yeah, and I'll be working hard training like every off season, on the ice, off the ice. I want to be productive on the ice. Just keep train. And that's how you have a good performance on the ice. But it's risky. What if I flop as a player? I don't want to take that risk, right? That's my point, right? I don't want to take that risk. Yeah. The board guards tell me, "I man, like your SHL league will blow the NHL away. The Supreme Hockey League." I'm like, "Yeah, the Supreme Hockey League, best hockey league in the world, SHL." Yeah. I'm gonna update the skates with the technology. Yeah, we can update the skates live. Now you get better power skate performance from players. Yeah, update the sticks. That way you get better shooting from the players, stick handling, better nets, better ice, and a luxury hockey arena, a beautiful like arena, a practice facility, the practice facility, state of the art gym, luxury locker rooms. Obviously, a press team for each team. All that's 15 team press team, all that stuff. A press conference room, and yeah, photographers, stat keepers. You have to play-by-play guys, color commentators, and sport anchors. All those guys. Yeah, it's a lot of work. But Ivan, it won't be on TV. No, it'll be online. But the technology is just as good as NHL live broadcast games, if not better. I'm adding 4K technology into the games. No, you have NFL Live, NHL Live, you watch it online. It's just as good as when you watch it on TV. Yeah, it's the same quality as when you watch it on TV, the sport games. Except it's online broadcast. It's not on TV. I've not sold to the Gates. The Gates own all that. But when you enlarge the screen and you watch the game, it's even better than the NHL because I'm putting 4K technology into the cameras for a better gaming watching experience and update the sound, everything. So it's a better experience, obviously. Yeah, you have to come up with a logo. Yeah, you have to come up with the SHL logo. You have to come up with a theme for the SHL. No, the NFL, the CFL, the NHL, they have their theme. You have to come up with a theme for the SHL, theme song for the SHL too. It's a lot of work, right? So 13 teams, yeah, 13 teams in Canada, 12 teams in the States. That's how it works, right? Yeah. 13 teams in Canada, 12 teams in the States. Yeah, but Ivan, like if you want the SHL teams to be in the same city as the NHL teams, you're not competing with the NHL, Ivan. Now, how does that work? Yeah, guys, fuck the NHL. The NHL's not my problem, right? That's why all the pro sport teams, leagues are going to go into a panic, obviously, the rest of that league. Because they can't compete with me, obviously. I have deeper pockets than all those guys. Yeah, the fans will still go to the NHL games, but there's a lot of other fans who are also going to be going to the SHL games. But the SHL is better than the NHL, right? Better facilities, everything. Higher paying work for the players. Yeah. If you want talent just as good as the NHL, you now have to compete with the NHL and draft all the best players around the world, guys. That's how it works, right? You have to draft all the best players. How many rounds you want? Have it just as much rounds as the NHL. You want the NHL draft broadcast live? Yes. It's broadcast live on the SHL website, obviously. And the GMs are not, and the player personnel and all of them have to scout the players in Canada, the junior players in Canada, Europe, and the States. And then the SHL will draft the best players in each round for the SHL draft, obviously. Upcoming players, obviously. SHL will draft all the players. I'm saying, SHL will draft all the best players in the world, obviously. That way you get the same quality as the NHL. Except the players will be better in Mali because I'm paying them more money. They're going to work harder for me, and I'm going to have better training programs for them. State-of-the-art facility gym and a practice facility where they can train on the ice in the off-season. Yeah. That's what I'm going to tell all my teammates. My guys, I recommend you guys train hard in the offseason because there's nothing worse than you signing your mega deal and your performance dips after 3 seasons and you get released. And I guarantee you players in my league, when they get released, some of them might even break down and cry because they missed out on a huge opportunity. They don't want to be left behind. They know as long as they play in my team, in my league, they're saved. And they're world famous. They don't want to miss out on that. That's why everyone's gonna train really hard. That way they have a good performance on the ice. Some sound. Yeah. Like you look at Sidney Crosby and Carmen David, those guys train really hard. They're hard workers. That's why they have good, productive performances on the ice every season because they work hard. They train hard because they want to have, it's their job, right? If you want to have a good performance on the ice, you have to keep training. That's how it works. Keep training on the ice. And training for pro hockey is fucking fun, especially if you know you're an amazing player. It's fun training, obviously. That's why all the players are gonna have a fun time training with me on the ice, off the ice and on the ice, especially on the ice with me, obviously. We all train hard together. Yeah, guys, we all got to work hard and train. You want a good performance on the ice. You want to keep your job. You got to keep training. That's how it works. Guys, I'm sorry. Yeah. Why do you want a combine for the upcoming SHL players? Yes, have a combine. All pro leagues have combines, right? Have a combine for the players and have an SHL draft, obviously. And the board of governors also have to hire a commissioner who's going to run the league. You can have the NHL commissioner work for you, Ivan. Have him leave the NHL, have him work for you as a commissioner for the SHL if you want, right? Pay him more. I don't know how much that guy probably makes maybe $8 million a year as NHL commissioner. You pay that guy like $50 million a season with perks. It's a good deal for the commissioner. But the board of governors are responsible for hiring the commissioner, right? Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. Why do you think any of the teams in your league will lose money? No. Every one of my teams in my league will be profitable because it's an Ivan league, right? The fans are gonna love these SHL pro athletes a lot more than the NHL athletes. It's Ivan's SHL league. All my teams should be profitable. They should be making profit. As all my games will be sold out. All the games for my SHL league obviously will be sold out with like 20,000 fans packed for each team. And the fans are gonna love these star players a lot more than even the NHL players, obviously. As the star player, the star players in my league are making a lot more money than the star players in the NHL. They're more famous, more world famous. They're world famous and everything. Some sour. Why you want Olympic Games? Yes. Have Olympic Games too. Team Canada, Team USA, Team Russia, Team Finland, Team Slovakia, Team Italy, Team USA, Team Sweden, Team Switzerland. You have Olympics too, like the NHL does. To have Olympic Games too, obviously. So you make it the game more interesting, obviously. And all the board guards are like, holy shit, I mean, your league's gonna blow the NHL out of the water. I know it will. Right, man, if you want to be the face of the league with these star players, you gotta train, I know. I have to do stick handling training, shooting, power skating, all that stuff. It's a lot of work. Yeah. Take a nice hot shower with these guys. I'll enjoy showing you guys. Yeah. So the board of governors are responsible for hiring the presidents. Yes. You guys are responsible for hiring the commissioner, the presidents, obviously. And the presidents are responsible for hiring the GMs and the assistant GMs. And the GMs are responsible for hiring the coaches. And the presidents also have to hire the press team. Chances are they're going to grab a lot of ex-NHL press and they're going to work in my league. Each team has a good 15-team press team. That's good enough for each team. 15 to 20 team. 15 teams enough, right, for each team. A 15-team press team for each team. Where they interview the players after the games, practice, post-practice, pre-practice. They're responsible for the news, writing down all the news for each team, obviously. Yeah. And you also have to hire stat keepers, play-by-play guys, color commentators, sport anchors, all those guys. You have to hire those guys. You have to get paid. Pay those guys like they're $200, $300, $400, $500,000. That's good enough for those guys, right? But if they're ex-players, you can pay them their millions. Like $1.5 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $6 million, $8 million, $10 million. As they get more experience, you give them raises as sport anchors. Guys who are ex-players. Because if they're not ex-players, don't pay them any more than maybe $500K. I don't think these guys are doopy or being off, right? Don't let me guys been saying, yeah. Well, the star players, let's say each team has 3 star players. Will the star players all make the same amount of money? No. The GM can't afford to pay the 3 star players the same amount of money. No, they have to balance it out. Because each team, even though each team has star players, there's always like the best player out of all those star players. That player gets the most money, and the other star player makes around the same amount of money, or they make a bit less. You have to balance it, guys, right? So you have 3 star players. One player can make 30. The other player makes maybe 25, 26. And the other player makes maybe 19, 20, 21 million or something like that. But you have to balance out their contracts, otherwise you're going to drain the cap. Yeah. The one player gets 30 million for 2 seasons, and after that you bring it down to maybe 26, $25 million. You bring it for 3 seasons, and after the final season, they get maybe 18 million, 19 million. And they also get their league revenue. They're still making more money than what they're making in the NHL, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah. So what's the star players deal in your league? They get their base salary, and you guys can pay them bonuses too, but their bonuses are part of their contract, obviously, right? So if you're paying a player $20 million, you can pay that player a $5 million signing bonus, and they get a $15 million salary for the season, and they get their like $5 million in league revenue. That player made $30 million, $25 million for that season. And they get magazine money and commercial money, but there is no endorsement deals from my company, for my league, because I did not sell to the Gates. All those other brands can't endorse the players because the Gates own that. I did not sell to the Gates. Because I have the keys, the league is making more enough revenue, more than the NHL to keep it afloat, right? There is no endorsement deals for my league for the players, obviously. They just get their base salary, magazine money, commercial money, and league revenue. But they're making more money than what they're making in the NHL, guys. I'm sorry. Only star players get league revenue, guys, not the good players. Good players and average players don't get shit. They just get their salary, and that's it. And the good players and average players do not get featured on the magazines either. Obviously. They also get the game money too, as I'll be making an SHL game, right? But for the game, the players don't make much. They get like $5,000 to appear on the game. As in Pro Sport leagues, they pay the players a few $1,000s to be on the game, right? They don't make that much money off games, right? The players. However, you're going to give the players revenue for the magazines and the game. Well, yeah, they're making league revenue, so they're getting a piece of all that, right? But it's a flat amount. I'm giving them a piece of league revenue, obviously, $5 to $20 million, right? They're getting a piece of league revenue. Only the star players, though. The average and good players don't get shit, right? They just get their base and that's it. So if you're a good player in my league, you can make your $10 million, $9 million as a good player is a good fucking contract, man. That's a rich contract. Good players are signing mega deals. They're signing like 70 million, like 8 years, 70, 80 million deals. They're signing mega deals too. And the average players are signing like their 20, 25 million deals. Like 7-year, 25, 30 million deals. They're still making good money. Yeah. And the star players are signing their like $200+ million, $250 million deals, whatever it is in my league. Players will peak at about a $270, $80 million deal in my league around there. 300 maybe. Obviously, 400, 500 is too much. The players are ripping you off. That's why I'm going to tell the board of governors, tell the GMs, you have to balance out the contract. Don't sign a player to like a 400, 300, 500. They're not worth that, man. You have to balance it out, guys. I don't want these guys duping me. I'm sorry. It's too much. Paying a player $30 million a season for 10 years, too much. You gotta balance it. Pay them $30 million for maybe 2 seasons. You gotta bring it down to maybe 26 million for another 3 seasons. And after you bring it down to maybe 20, they sound like a $260 million. That's good enough. They don't make the NHL. And with their league revenue, it's like a $300 million deal. Guys, I'm sorry. $300 million deal. Guys, I'm sorry. Yeah. For the star players. Yeah. I was like, Carmen Davey, oh man, don't do that. I would do that, you're gonna crush me, man. I missed on opportunity. I would have made way more money in your league. I'd rather be a legend in your league than the fucking gig he was in NHL. I know, guys, but it's too late for you guys. Don't hit me, guys, been saying, yeah. Too late for those guys, right? Players also get paid for speaking. As guaranteed, the SHL players are going to be invited to speak at places, right? Hockey camps, community work, and all that stuff. Yeah, players get paid for that too, right? So they get paid for speaking and engagements, and the players too. They get paid for that, obviously. Ivan, how many press teams do you want? I want a press team for each team, and you have the main SHL press team. which is for the general press team for the SHL, and you have the individual private press for each team. I have like a 15, 16 team press team which will interview the players and they cover all the news for each team. Obviously, that's how it works. Yeah. You want to do commercials? Yeah, do commercials before the game starts and everything with the players. But only the star players are featured on the hockey commercials, not the good players and average players. Only the star players. That's why the board was told me, yeah, if you want to be featured on the commercials like with all the star hockey players, you have to be a star player. Right? You have to train Ivan. Hire the best hockey trainers to train you. Power skating, conditioning, shooting, stick handling. You have to hone your craft, Ivan. And because I have the genes, I think I will be a star player, but it's risky. What if I flop, guys? Right? It's risky. But I trained for like 4 or 5 years. I practice with the best players in the world. I can actually keep up with those guys because I have the genes, and I end up being a star player in the league. Obviously, or I might flop. I don't know. Right? It's risky, obviously. Yeah. That's where eventually I'm gonna like shit. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wish I can play in Ivan's league and be a legend in that league and be world famous with Ivan. These hockey players are gonna be world famous. Yeah, and I would have made way more money. I would have made like my $35 million, $30 million, $40 million, $20 million, $25 million, $27 million with league revenue. I would have made way more money working for Ivan. They would have made way more money working for me than they ever would have made in the NHL, right? Whatever they made in the NHL, right? Yeah, Sidney Crosby peaked at $12 million. McDavid peaked at $16 million. Obviously, as McDavid is making $16 million, I think he's making $12.5 million, I believe. But yeah, I think he has a bonus. With his bonus, he's making $16 million. McDavid peaked at $16 million. Austin Matthews peaked at 16. Ovechkin, I think, peaked at 16 too, or 14. Crosby peaked at 12. Obviously, because don't forget the NHL salary cap was like $80 million at the time when Crosby signed that mega deal. But now the NHL salary cap, I think, is like 90 to 100. So that's why they have more room to pay McDavid and those guys more money than what Crosby ever made in the NHL, right? Crosby right now makes like $8 million in the NHL. He can't bargain for his 12 because he's past his prime now. The teams won't pay him that anymore. Because Crosby is, even though he's playing at a high level, he's no longer prime Crosby. He's an older Crosby. I don't see that much of a dip in quality even with Crosby when he's older now. A little bit of a dip in quality. He was a bit more efficient and productive on the ice when he was younger, but he's still playing at a high level, Crosby. I don't really see that much of a difference even when he's older. But Crosby can't bargain for his 12 anymore because he's no longer a prime player. He's older now. And when you're older, you're no longer worth that much to the teams, right? I don't hate you guys for saying, yeah. You're not worth that much to teams when you're older. That's how it works in pro sports, right? You're not worth as much anymore, right? When you're older, you play pro sports. Yeah. But there's exceptions, though. Like Tom Brady, in his 40s, signed a $30 million deal for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He took his team to the Super Bowl, so obviously. But football is a bit different than hockey, though. Football is different than hockey. It's different, obviously. They're different sports. Yeah. Well, VJ support, yeah, VJ will support me. Yeah, Ivan, you can do your pro hockey thing. I'll just do my music, Ivan. VJ would support me, obviously. Yeah. VJ would support me, obviously, right? Yeah. Why, man? You have some balls to say you have a higher potential than Ovechkin, Crosby, and McDavid. In terms of the genes, I do have higher potential than those guys because I have the genes of God that those guys don't have. Those guys don't have the God gene like me. But it doesn't mean I'll peak at the level. Well, I highly doubt I will peak at the level. It doesn't mean I'll peak at the level, but my potential is higher than those guys because I have the genes, man. I'm the imprint of fucking God, the creator of the universe, right? I have those genes. God gave me the gifts to be successful in this world. As you guys saw in my hockey videos, man, I'm a pretty good stick handler for someone who has no training. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good for someone who has no training. Yeah, that's people with no training, guys. I did not train. Never played hockey in my life before, guys. I never played hockey, guys. I never played in a hockey league in my life. I played street hockey, but I never played, like, on the ice hockey ever in my life, guys. In a league. Obviously. So imagine if I trained hard for like 3-4 years, off ice training, on ice training. I should be able to be a star player, but I might flop as a player. It's risky, obviously. I guarantee you I will not peak at Sidney Crosby, Connor David's level. Because those stuff those guys, I don't Ovechkin, those stuff those guys do on the ice, I saw their highlights. That's not normal stuff, man. That's unheard of stuff, guys and Sarah. That's really SHL Bully, SHL Water. Hey guys. There's every guys always SHL videos. I'm saying peace. Peace out, guys. SHL Bread and NHL, guys. Peace out, guys. Don't hate him, son. Hope you enjoy the show.